listening to Anthony on the virus, Sirius XM.
Hey, what'd you take, Doug?
Actually, we've been doing mushrooms all night, but we just invented our own cocktail because we didn't know if we should keep tripping or go to bed. So we made we call it the Xanadu. We blended up Xanax with equal amounts of mushroom caps in a coffee grinder and poured it into Jaeger shots.
Xanadu.
We called it a Xanadu.
Wow.
Yeah, we invented it. So.
Yeah, I would say you did. I don't think anyone else would have come up with that.
What else could a Xanadu be? 2 glasses, one totally empty and one with milk?
I'm not sure. But if you find out about a bar selling them, I'm a regular.
It's you. Wow, man. So you're really feeling good.
Oh yeah, we're trashed. I got to go over to Scotland in a day.
What are you doing over there?
A fringe festival. I got to be there for a whole month. So now I'm practicing for being absolutely out of my mind all the time because UK comics make American comics look like douchebags. Norton gets peed on and stuff, and we're just so we're out of the norm.
Dude, but how are you going to get your drugs over there?
Oh, they have drugs over there. Over there, it's like the old days of having fun in America. Remember that? Remember when fun used to happen? We didn't have to invent it or just make fun of other people to have it. Yeah, they're still in those days. Like, they don't have websites, or they're still just raw. The good comics I know over there. They CD what? No, I'm still coming in with a beer at 8 a.m.
Doug is the worst nightmare of everybody that does anti-drug ads, because he's the one. He just makes it sound so much fun, like something you want to do. No bad stories, right? You're just having fun.
Well, no. I mean, you die at the end. That's the bad story. I mean, for all of us. But yeah. Why at some point do you have to go, well, okay, yeah, well, that was fun when we were at Mardi Gras and we were 22, but that fun must not have been real. Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Where you start having conversation about stuff that you don't remember the next day, but it was so deep, like you were curing the world's ills in one evening, and then the next day you forgot it or you remember it and it sounded ridiculous.
I've been doing this stuff for a lot of decades, so it's not like a way out thought that I don't remember is out of the ordinary. It's not like I'm experimenting. I'm almost 40 years old, for Christ's sake.
The Anthony Podcast.
We were talking about crazy things that go through your head sometimes when, you're at a funeral and you kind of get it in your head, standing up and maybe pushing the casket over, and what a ruckus that would make, but your brain kind of tells your body not to do it.
All right, we've been talking about the same thing. My buddy Joby his best friend just blew his brains out.
Ooh.
And he was a little reticent to trip tonight because it just happened.
Yeah, that kind of make a bad trip if he starts thinking about it.
My mother is hopefully gonna die soon. She's on on emphysema. I swallowed that F word.
Yeah, but I didn't think you swallowed enough of it. So is mom's got emphysema?
My mom.
Oh, your mom.
Does she, man?
Yeah, and she's gonna. Yeah, Norton knows mother.
Yeah. I like your mom.
Yeah, she's a funny mom to everyone else, but to me, she's just annoying. And I hope she dies soon. Because she's a joyless douche. And
a joyless. Does she smoke?
Yeah,
or did she smoke?
There's nothing left in her life except to be alive. And yeah, I hope she dies soon. And so yeah, we've been talking about stuff.
But that doesn't freak you out when you're tripping, to start thinking about that kind of thing? Because then you start thinking about your own mortality.
It makes you laugh when you're tripping because you realize that we die at the end. It's all this ego, Hollywood stuff that makes you laugh. You're just watching any kind of Entertainment Tonight kind of stuff. Who takes us seriously? How can I continue making jokes like I care about this stuff?
Because you die at the end. Like everything you're doing now is based on that fact.
I go on stage every night with that thought. Why even try? You're just gonna die at the end of it. Dude, I thought don't you and your mom get along really good?
Yeah, no, I've hated her for 10 years, Norton.
Are you serious?
Since she moved in with me, and she's been a liability. She made herself a liability to me, and she will make no steps towards getting. She's completely disability and all that. She can take care of herself, but she chooses not to.
Okay.
And I don't have the time to go through the problems of the red tape. Well, get on the dole, baby.
Do you have to do things like clean her up and stuff?
No, she's not that, bro. But
no.
But she was they had to airlift her for emphysema to the hospital, the ER, and they had to vacuum out her lungs.
Oof! What the hell was she smoking?
Well, she's been smoking cool menthols for 48 years or something. Yeah, they had her on a ventilator, and I'm sitting there watching her die. I thought she was going to die for sure, and I'm watching her die on a ventilator after they had to suction out her lungs while she was aware of it, and I'm still looking down at her going, that makes me want a cigarette.
Oh, Jesus.
That was an honest reaction.
Dude, does she still smoke?
I still smoke.
No, does she still smoke?
Light one.
Does your mom still smoke?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, she's been on the patch for 5 days. It's going to
How is the patch a bigger, deterrent or a bigger reminder than vacuuming your lungs out? How she is really hooked on smoking, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
And you're smoking too, so you're probably going to have the same fate.
Well, yeah. I think I could die from a lot of things sooner. I hope to not have the same fate.
Right.
I hope to have one of my other fates greet me first.
Greet me.
I just wrote a big update, and we're tripping. I go, this is a perfect call because I just wrote a big update about O&A for my site, and my douchebag web guy didn't get it up. I'm working all day on it, and then I just clicked on it. My update is not up on my site. I actually had to take out part of the update because I try to assimilate. Dane Cook is my comedy nemesis.
Uh-huh.
But he has been forever, and I tried to put that into the update, but it was too convoluted, and I reread it. Dane Cook is someone I hate as a comic, but I don't have a problem with him as a guy. I live in a town of 6,000 people right now.
Where the hell you live? Jesus.
Arizona, down on the Mexican border. I took a month off.
Easy to skip over this line if he needs to.
I took a month off because I thought I needed it.
Right.
And I just tell my buddy as we were tripping, if Dane Cook and Larry the Cable Guy walked into my local bar after a month off in a small town like this, I would have hugged them as though they were dead relatives. just to have someone to communicate with. All right.
You really have no one to talk to.
Rivalry and artists, whatever. All right, we can talk like human beings.
Doug, why'd you move to that little teeny town?
I don't know, midlife crisis or I don't know.
Midlife crisis, you buy a vet or something.
Yeah.
I had to get out of L.A. It was just that ego nonsense was. I think we're going to move to Austin in January.
What do you think about Mel Gibson?
I hate the Jews.
Doug doesn't care.
No, I hate the Jews too.
You do?
Yeah.
For what reason?
Because I only hate the Jews that have to bring up that they're a Jew. Why do you have to keep saying you're a Jew? That was the first thing I thought, because I don't watch the news when I'm off.
Yeah.
And I put it on, and it was 56 minutes of Hezbollah, which is the Jews, and then there was a 5-minute. Here's what if Revelation is really coming upon us, and then finally we'll end it with a human interest piece about Mel Gibson hating the Jews and getting a DUI. All right. Next time if I get a DUI, I don't drive drunk anymore because I'm so overdue for a DUI.
You figure you've been lucky, so.
Oh, it's hugely lucky.
Yeah.
But if I do, I'm gonna go. I hate the Jews. Can I get pressed? I have to live down this man show thing. Can you arrest me?
You ever see it?
Girls Gone Wild. I gotta get out of my. To be a respectable comic again.
Not only do I hate the Jews, but I'll be appearing at the Houston Improv.
But no, I just hate it. Like if you came up to me and go, you know what? Because as a Lutheran, and you prefaced everything as being as a Lutheran. Well, what does that matter? Yeah.
You would hate the Lutherans.
Yeah, Jews. Well, you know, because I have a Jewish background. What does Jew mean? Shut the fuck.
I don't know. I think too much of the C got in that time. Doug, you're down in Arizona and you do peyote.
Just mushrooms.
Mushrooms? No. Oh, okay. I was going to ask you if you ever had one of those like Indian kind of.
No, we did. We did. Me and Tom Rhodes did the other night on the same batch of mushrooms on our bellies, vomiting and in our own waste. I urinated in my own pants for almost an hour on a heavy dose of the same mushrooms. But we did mescaline in the desert this May, and that was the first time I've found mescaline. But yeah, people don't do good drugs anymore. They do tweak, and they're all coked up, and it's all like pointless drugs.
I haven't heard of. I haven't even heard of anybody that's done mescaline in 20 years.
That was one of my favorite drugs.
It until this year.
Mescaline just made you laugh.
Yeah, exactly. Just giggle.
Oh, it's fantastic. No, I watched mountains melt. It was one of the most miraculous things, and I'm 40 years old, so...
You watch mountains melt in the desert, man.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Ooh. Wow. Yeah, I watched French fries under a heat lamp once. Just turned like a kaleidoscope, it looked like. Every single French fry was a different color and was changing colors like chameleons. Really amazing.
Last time I did mescaline.
Have you ever had a bad trip?
I didn't have many trips, and I wouldn't trip if I probably tripped and it was always mescaline. Probably about 3 or 4 times tops. Once was at a Van Halen concert, and it was the first time I ever did it.
84?
Yeah, probably around 84 or something. And it was at a Van Halen concert at the Nassau Coliseum out on Long Island. And I took it and didn't know it hadn't hit me. Everybody else is like, dude, I'm peaking. This is great. You know, Van Halen's up there kicking ass. And everyone's laughing on the way out. So I'm like, dude, I'm driving. You guys are all too screwed up. I didn't make it out of the parking lot before it hit me full blast. It starts raining, so the wipers had to be turned on, and they're going like, and streaking the every light, like the stoplights and the street lights would streak because of the rain, and that made it even worse. And the radio started talking to me like, and I just started laughing my ass off. I didn't know if I was going down the parkway. I didn't know if I was doing 5 or 80 miles an hour. I was driving all paranoid but laughing. It was that was the first time, but after that, probably 3 more times, but never had a bad one. But I would never do it if I was in like a bad place or in a bad mood, or if my mother had emphysema.
You learn when you're younger. That's why you call it experimentation. You learn. Yeah, I'm going to clean up my whole house because Discord makes me crazy. I want a comfortable, safe place to do this, away from authority figures, and blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And then we ridicule the way we live.
I couldn't do it after a friend's death, or if my mother had emphysema like that. I couldn't trip. I had a bad time once just smoking too much weed and watching Gray Lady Down. It's some Charlton Heston submarine movie. And they went down and I got into an accident, and the sub was sunk at the bottom of the ocean. Dude, I freaked out. I felt like I was in the sub and had like the worst anxiety attack. I had to run into my room. I was pretty much in the fetal position, sucking my thumb. It was one of the most
First of all,
awful.
You shouldn't watch bad Charlton Heston movies while you're tripping. We just watched a movie at the end of a trip just to try to come down, and that's when we discovered these Xanadu shots.
Xanadu.
Decide whether we should keep tripping or go to bed, and tripping won. But that's
You got to be in a good place.
Self-reflection, like after I bust my webmaster's balls, some guy, like when you mention me, whatever you mention me, like I always get a flood of MySpace, but I get this like perfect MySpace email from a fan of yours, and in the worst English, like worst. Hey, you have to decipher what he's trying to say. You know the MySpace.
Yeah.
And the guy's name is Bob, and he's trying to make me decide. Like it was, they mentioned you in that school, but you have to decide between Opie and Howard.
Yeah, it's like antimatter and matter. The two can't be in the same place.
Yeah, no, like see the picture of the MySpace. That's what's great about MySpace is they give you a picture of the guy you're talking to, and the guy has this like big, stupid, oversized Mardi Gras hat with a half-tooth smile, and he's from Jersey, and he's talking about. Well, unless you want to go with the Howards, like he's going to invite you to his Hampton house. And I wrote this whole update that will eventually be up, that should have been up now, except I have a douche for a webmaster.
We'll check all day for that, Doug.
You're listening to Anthony.
I first dropped acid when I was 18. I was over at these people's house one night. This guy I went to school with was over there and asked me if I wanted to try some acid.
Did he?
I had read about it in the newspapers and heard a few friends talk about it, so I was curious. I was pretty jacked up on marijuana, so I decided to try it, and I dropped it. I don't know what I was waiting for, a flash or a rush or whatever, but I kept sitting there waiting, and nothing was happening. So I got up and then went to the dresser and put on a pair of pink capris and a green and brown blouse. I thought the colors were beautiful. So we...
Green and brown is asking for it by the way you're dressed.
There's a PlayStation. Oh, she's a real looker, this one.
Yeah, here we go. Back to it.
So we tripped down to Market Street, and I decided to buy a hot dog. I put the hot dog up to my mouth, and somebody started screaming. I didn't know what was happening, so I looked up at my friend Terry and said, "Did you hear that? Didn't you hear someone scream?" He said no. I got the hot dog up to my mouth again, and I was ready to bite, and the scream got louder. And it hit me. No, it couldn't be. And I looked down at the hot dog, and there was a face on him. Eyes, nose, a mouth.
We know what a face is.
Ketchup to where it looked like his hair. And he started telling me that I couldn't eat him. That he had a wife and 7 kids at home to support.
It's a Mexican hot dog because of the music.
I know, the awful music like drowns it out.
Looks like a Duke lacrosse player on the penis. I get it.
I get it. Had a face, a nose, a mouth, eyes. The ketchup looked like hair.
I think the message is, I must feel like a whore for putting out, because otherwise, if I just give in to my natural sexual urge, then a guy won't have to work 60 hours, put in overtime to get a spoiler for his Honda that might attract me to maybe giving him oral gratification in the toilet. Drugs, any drug that makes you not produce is against the law. Is any drug that will keep you dumb and happy in a 60-hour-a-week cubicle, yeah, that's legal.
He had a wife and 7 kids at home to support. And I stood there with this hot dog and asked Terry, "Do you know this hot dog is talking to me?" And he says, "Nah, let's get out of here." He thought I was just faking.
Thanks for the help.
And I told him, "Look at the thing. He's got a face. And he's screaming." And the guy finally looked over, and he got on the same trip that I was on.
Look at the, you know something? This bitch just screwed up the other guy's good trip.
Poor Terry.
Poor Terry is just hanging out. He's having a good time.
He has to battle having a girl's name to begin with. Just wants to get high and enjoy himself.
Have a little acid. Enjoy the time. Maybe get lucky with this whore later on. It's the 60s. She brings up a talking hot dog. He's like, nah, it's nothing. Meaning, bitch, shut up. Leave this alone. She brings it up again. He looks, oh, Christ, it does have a face. He ruins his trip.
Maybe
Killjoy.
Maybe it was his hot dog.
Maybe, yeah.
It's not talking. Just put it in your mouth.
Maybe it's his first trip, and he doesn't know. He doesn't know well enough to leave her behind to go walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah, just leave her alone, man.
Yeah.
And the hot dog had one eye, and it was looking at me intensely.
They're having bad trips. That's for rookies to deal with. That's why you have youngsters like Butters hanging around.
Drop her off at the hospital and just leave.
Go, I'm waiting.
So Terry has acknowledged the face on the hot dog?
Yeah, Terry now is starting to get into the same bad trip that this broad is into.
It's like having free XM. I love it.
Over, and he got on the same trip that I was on. And we sat there carrying on a conversation with that hot dog. Finally, I decided I was just hallucinating, so I put it in my mouth and bit down. It screamed so loud.
Terry was driving, and that scream was the tire screeching.
The guy I'm tripping with is a kind of a new friend of mine, and we're down in a small town on the Arizona border. So he doesn't understand that I'm hearing, and then I put it into my mouth, and then I start yanking off, and he's like, I thought you were on the radio. And you go, I'll explain later.
Yeah, bear with me.
Jesus.
I decided I was just hallucinating, so I put it in my mouth and bit down. It screamed so loud that you could hear it all over town, so I had to throw it on the ground and step on it.
She's using the mouse technique.
It's the same thing Lorena Bobbitt said.
Why would you have to step on it? Why not just put it down safely and gently?
Because it was suffering like mice.
That's probably just the drugs.
Got a nice unconditioned braid in her hair.
Yeah, hairy armpits, 30 feet.
Where did they play this thing? Was this like in front of every good movie that you had to sit?
No, this kind of thing used to play in schools. They would get an assembly together in school and play this along with, Hamburger on the Highway, that movie about driving in Driver's Ed.
I remember, honestly, in, I guess it was 6th grade, a science teacher telling us that kids who would sniff glue would die and be so deformed that their parents couldn't pick out their bodies in the morgue.
Cool.
I never thought about sniffing glue, but it occurred to me later on. Wait, they were teaching me this in public school. It's such disinformation that it destroys. There's drugs that are bad, but once a kid learns that, hey, if I smoke a joint, I'm probably not going to blow my friend's head off.
Yeah, it was always smoking a joint, and you would, if you were the babysitter, let's say you're babysitting and you smoke a little reefer, you would put the baby in the oven, and the mother would come home and find the turkey upstairs tucked into the crib. That was always like the story. And she'd go to check on her baby and go, why is there a turkey in the crib? And run downstairs, and the babysitter would go, no, the turkey's in the oven. And the mother would open the oven and scream because her baby was cooked in the oven because the babysitter smoked a joint.
Yeah, once kids realize that one of those things is garbage, they discount all of it. And they go, well, I guess heroin must be just as easy as pot. Like, if you're going to have PSAs, make them honest.
Yeah.
So loud that you could hear it all over town, so I had to throw it on the ground and step on it. And I was jumping on this hot dog in the middle of Market Street. I realized that I had murdered it. And I took off screaming down the street, scared.
All right, running. She ran down the street
Nothing makes me want to slap a woman more than when they scream like that.
because she murdered a hot dog.
Terry, wait, is this video of this or is this?
Yeah, there is a video.
Yeah,
you seen it?
you're going to have to tell me how this PSA ends, because I can only... The sound effects are screaming over the dialogue.
Yeah, I saw the video or a piece of it just recently. It was on something, I think maybe The Daily Show was playing or a Colbert Report was playing like a piece of it. And yeah, there's video. It's all groovy and done with like those light shows that used to be done with oil paint and the overhead projector. Kind of thing like that was going on in between.
And Doug, I'll tell you how this ended with Terry in the emergency room going, "Why did she do that to me? Why? She's jumping up and down. Why?"
Hey, thanks for having me. I have an update coming out to you, but I'll be in Scotland for a whole month, so I won't. But I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good trip.
All right, watch. Don't eat any hot dogs in the next 24 hours.
Or if you
or
do,
so.
make sure they're white.
Thanks for having me on when I'm tripping. It makes me feel good.
Sirius XM, the virus. You're listening to You're listening to Opie.
So true.
Because her baby was cooked in the oven because the babysitter smoked a joint.
But the thing is, once kids realize that one of those... Am I there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're there.
What are you gonna?
So wasted.
You're listening to Anthony